Hi, I'm Lisa with OESD, and in today's Stitch Along, we're going to embroider a lovely pair of earrings from our latest collection, Flourishing Lace Earrings. I have a pair in, as well as a display of them right here. These earrings are so fun and easy. You'll be making pairs for all of your family and friends. It is so much fun. I'm going to guide you through hooping and stitching, how to add the hardware, tricks and techniques along the way, as well as highlight some of our other collections of jewelry. Stay tuned and we're going to get started. To start, the first thing I did was I printed out the instructions, and I have those right here. I love the instructions because they are step-by-step with color pictures, and I will tell you, I absolutely love having color pictures. I know to read the instructions, but sometimes I kind of skip right over to the picture, and I think with the written instructions side by side with the pictures, then I'm usually very successful. On page 2, I've got a list of the isochord colors that we have used in our collection. I'm going to take this opportunity to say, though, that you don't have to use these colors. You can use your own colors and make different color earrings depending on your wardrobe. You don't have to stick with these colors. You are the maker of your own creation. On page 3, you're going to see, I'm going to hold it up right here, a visual schematic that shows each pair and size of earrings. It's really nice that we have this guide. It gives you an idea of what each earring is going to look like so that you can visualize it in your mind with that color or maybe with a different color. In embroidery, we recommend using a hoop closest in size to the design that you would like to stitch out. So that if you stitched out one design, you'd probably use your smallest hoop. But for today, I'm going to show you that we can pull in multiple earrings and do one hooping and many pairs of earrings. Many of us have machine capabilities that allow us to pull in multiple designs so that we can be a bit more economical with our stabilizer. I don't always recommend this, but in this case, for these earrings, we can do this. If we chose a large hoop for a small design, especially if it had an outline, and we stitched out that small design in a large hoop, what would happen is that you might have a misalignment. So like if you had a design that had an outline and you stitched it out, your design innards wouldn't mess up or wouldn't match up necessarily with the line. So that's why we do that. It can look pulled and stretched. So we usually recommend a hoop in closest size to the design you're going to stitch out. If you stitched out a design where the bulk of the design doesn't meet up with outlines, now you kind of think, oh, I think I know what the reason might be. Our earrings today do not have an outline, and we should be able to just stitch them out and not have any problems with that. All right, on page 4, you're going to see, it looks like this, General Freestanding Lace Guides. It's going to have a list of the stabilizers we're going to use, as well as instructions and helpful tips. You can see here on page 4 that I've even already highlighted what stabilizers I'm going to use, as well as any other notions that I might need. I've highlighted an 80-12 needle, and that is actually what I have here in my machine. I'm going to go get my hoop, and we recommend using a grippy grid, first of all, for hooping, because when I go to put in my 2 pieces, you're going to see that my hoop is not going to slide around. We're going to use 1 layer of aqua mesh and 1 layer of Badge Master. And again, I'm going to put them right in here. And then I want you to see that my grippy grid is not sliding around. All right, why 2 layers? That's what you're probably wondering. Why do I need 2 layers? And I'm going to show you the why. Over here I have some examples. And let me go ahead and put my hoop on the machine so I can show you that. Get that ready. And I'm going to roll up my grippy grid. Right here, I did 1 layer I have my little cheat sheet. I did 1 layer of aqua mesh. And at first glance, it looks like it's totally fine, but when the camera comes in and does a little close-up, I'm gonna just show and put my finger where you're gonna start to see that there is a little bit of unraveling that's going on. And if you go to wash it over time, it's gonna start to fall apart. So on first blush, it might look fine, but over time, it will not survive. So that's with 1 layer of aqua mesh. So then I thought, all right, well, I'm just gonna do 1 layer of Badge Master. And Badge Master, this is what happened. It wouldn't even go. It started to tear the Badge Master. It just wasn't strong enough. And what we're really trying to do is build a really good foundation for these earrings. So what we have found is that we need 2 layers, not 1 layer. So then I did 2 layers of Badge Master. That's what this is. And I'm just going to show that while it looks totally fine, it's actually a little too firm. Like, I don't even know if you can hear that, but that's not to my liking. It might be to your liking, but it's not to mine. And actually on this one, you're gonna see it's even a little bit misshapen right there. So I don't actually recommend the 2 layers of Badge Master. What I think is a good combination, and the one that we're using today, is 1 layer of the aqua mesh and 1 of the Badge Master. It gives us the sturdy foundation that we need to have a successful stitch out. So 1 layer of aqua mesh and 1 layer of Badge Master. So a good foundation, we're set on that. Again, our needle is going to be an 80-12, and the reason why we're using an 80-12 ballpoint needle in this case is that I'm using a titanium needle, and the reason why I'm using a titanium needle is for extended needle life. The other thing is you're going to want to have your bobbin the same color as your top thread, and I have another example of why you would do that. On this pair of earring, or on this set, on this one you can see that I have done the red color in both the bobbin and the top. On this one, I did a white bobbin, and you can see that that bobbin's coming through and it doesn't look nearly as nice. All right, I've preloaded the design. I'm gonna stitch out 3 pairs from the Flourishing, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. We have our machine in here, we have our design loaded, and I'm gonna go ahead and get stitching. All right, it looks like we're all done stitching. I'm going to take this out of the hoop. And if you have turned off your jump stitch, now would be like I did. Now would be a good time to trim all your threads. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. I love my little Kai thread snips. All right. Move my hoop out of the way. And now, with the Badge Master, what I can actually do is very easily tear this away from all the designs. The Badge Master comes away without any problem at all. You just want to make sure that you are supporting your stitches as you tear off the Badge Master. And I'm not tearing it off from the inside of the design, I'm just tearing it away from the outside of each earring. Throw that away. Now what I have left is just the aqua mesh and the earrings, and I'm going to take my other Kai scissors and I'm just going to kind of come along here and just trim away the excess stabilizer that I don't need. And you want to kind of, let's see if I can do this here. You want to, I'm going to take this pair right here of these beautiful wings, and you're just going to want to kind of come in a little close, but not too close because you don't want to cut the threads. So I'm going to come around here. And what I'm going to do for each one of these is when I have it looking like this, with a little bit of an outside edge of that aqua mesh all the way around the design, I'm going to take this and put it under warm running water, and then I'm going to let it dry on a rack face down. And then what I'm left with is an earring, whoa, a flying earring. What I'm left with is this. You'll have just a whole earring made entirely of thread. I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to talk about how to make them into earrings. So I have 2 earrings right here. And you want to know, well, how am I going to get them to be hanging? We have a jewelry making kit, and it comes with 2 pairs of pliers. It comes with a jump ring, if you've ever seen this before. And then it comes with a kit with 5 different colors of jewelry. Before I open that up, I'll do it like that. Isn't that great? And then what I'm going to do is first choose my color for this blue, and I kind of am gravitating towards this steel color right here. And I'm going to get 2 O-rings. So for each pair of earrings, or for 1 pair of earrings, you need a pair of the circular O-rings, and then you need 2 of the bits that go into the ear. So I'm going to put this right down right here. Now this is I think this is the hardest part. So I'm going to take my little jump ring, looks like this, and I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. With my pliers, I'm going to get this. You're going to see there's a seam where it's going to open. Then I'm going to kind of put it in that O-ring, and what that's going to allow me to do is to separate it. And I don't know if you can see it, but now that it's open. And what you're really doing, let's see if I can do a better demonstration of it, is that you're not pulling it apart this way, you're pulling it apart this way. Does that make sense? Then, where's my little bits here? Then I'm going to put this on right here, and then I'm going to take this one, and I actually, the way that I do it is I'm going to put it right where it's laying like that against it. Then I take the other plier, and now that I've opened it, I'm just going to go ahead and close it right back up. And sometimes I'll give them a little pinch, but I don't want to lose that O shape. But even if that's a little misshapen and you have to start all over again, you'll see that in the case, you get lots and lots and lots so that you can keep practicing and trying like it looks like I need to do right now. Okay, that is how you're going to make the jewelries, but I want to, or how to make the jewelries, how to make the earrings, but I want to show you some more inspiration. This comes with 5 different colors of different styles. I love that. So you've got this brassy look, you've got the silver, sort of the metallic-y looking silver, then you have the bright silver, you've got sort of like a rose gold and a gold. So many things that you can make. Let's talk about some inspiration. I wanted to show you that I thought it would be really fun to try some metallic thread. So I have a couple of different ones that I'm showing here today. This is like a goldy gold and a light gold, so I thought that was really fun. On this one, on these leaves, I really wanted to play with the metallic thread, and I thought, oh, this is just coming out so fun. About metallic thread, just because you can metallic doesn't mean you should metallic, and I'm going to show that right now. So here is a key that's part of one of our collections that I really, really love. And that collection, all these names will kind of pop up underneath the bottom, I think. I decided, well, I'm going to make this key in the metallic, which I did right here. And what ended up happening is that I went, my machine went, because it was just too dense for the metallic thread. And right in here, I have this really nasty little knot, and it wasn't going to stitch out anymore. So just because it could metallic doesn't mean it should metallic. You're going to want to look at the density and decide for yourself whether you want to risk it or not. So that's the metallic thread. This is playing with variegated, this variegated thread right here, and then the silver metallic. And I thought, well, what fun is that? And then with that variegated thread, I was playing with that. So here's some purple earrings where I used variegated on the outside. And these feathers I did with all variegated thread, but you will notice that you'll see sort of this striping that happens with the variegated thread. That is something to keep in mind. This, the way that it was stitched out, didn't give me the stripy stripes in quite the same way. This light blue is a variegated, but you do kind of want to think about how is it going to stitch out and play around and maybe, you know, do some samples and say, does that work out? Does that not work out? Definitely play with your thread. I highly recommend that. The other thing that's really fun is you can use these earrings to build more or build onto them. So in this one, my colleague Carrie made a whole set. I love these. So this is one earring bit, and she said, well, what if I put two earring bits together to create something really fun? And then on the fringe, that is actually hand embroidery floss that she, you know, if you have a piece of thread, I'm going to use this right here. See if we can get one that doesn't have a broken base. So when she's doing that, she would take hand embroidered floss. Boy, this is easier said than done. There we go. And what she's doing is she's just folding it like this, giving it like a loop. And that's probably hard to see. If I put my hand, maybe you can see that. And then she fed that through there, kind of pulling it through in on itself to make a knot. You've probably done that with ribbon. And then she just cut and trimmed it so that the fringe was all the same size. So that the fringe was all the same size. And then she thought, well, that's really fun. And then she made a necklace to go with it. And then a bracelet. And it's all using these little O-rings right here, just connecting one piece to another. Isn't that fun? I love the bracelet. There are so many different things. And if you're wondering, how do you do that? This is one earring piece, here's another earring piece, and then I just hooked them together by that O. So that becomes that. You can also use them as zipper pulls. On this beautiful bag that our colleague Rachel made, I put a little zipper pull using an O-ring right there, right against the zipper of that bag. I cannot wait to see what you will make. I think I went over variegated, I went over metallic. Oh, you know what though? I realized that there was one more piece of inspiration. Because what if you really like all these designs, but you're like, I don't wear jewelry? These are from that older collection that we were looking at before, and I just used them on my sweater using aqua mesh. So it all washed away. I think I used Aqua Mesh Plus because I wanted to not hoop my sweater. And I just laid it right down, lined them all up. I, paste and copied the design over 5 times and stitched it out. So there's so many things that you could do with these designs. I really can't wait to see what inspires you and what you want to make. And the great thing is that you can actually go on over to The Perfect Stitch by OESD and post what you are inspired to make and show us all of your jewelry collections. I really, really can't wait. I learn as much from you as you do from me. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're so happy that you're here. But wait, you're saying, but wait, my bundle, my bundle. That's okay. We do have a bundle. And I have for you the names of the collections. We've got the flourishing lace earrings that's here. We have the lace jewelry that's here. We've got our buildable minis, and we have our lace charms, a couple of which I also have right over here. I love this butterfly that I did in metallic, and an apple. And you know, how cute would this be on a little zippered pouch for a teacher? Just saying, just so many cute ideas. So you get all 4 of those collections 4 collections, along with the jewelry hardware kit right here, which comes with 2 pairs of pliers, the jump ring to help you separate those O-rings, and then of course all of this, the 5 different colors with lots and lots of little O-rings and your earring bits right there. And so the collections, the hardware, also we're gonna get our Aqua Mesh and our Badge Master right here to help you be as successful as you possibly can be. All of that, 4 collections, the hardware, the stabilizers that you need, all of that for only $99. And if you were to price that out on our website, you know that you are getting quite a deal indeed. So that is perfect. I do hope to see you on the Perfect Stitch. I can't wait to see what you make. You inspire me probably more than I inspire you. So go and play with your thread, play with your stabilizers, like and subscribe so you see more of our OESD content. We put out a lot every single month. Thank you so much and happy stitching.